First off, to recap the Chicago game, I told our guys Monday morning in the meeting, I thought they did a great job. I thought we impacted the game in a positive way. I thought our punt return game got going, other than the two blocks in the back. As my father-in-law would say, a block in the back is bad. And we had two of them which are unacceptable. We got to correct those. We covered kicks well. Obviously, our field goal team did a great job snapping, holding, protecting, and Chase did a good job making his kicks. And then moving on to Minnesota, as you guys know, I spent 8 years there at the Minnesota Vikings, and my wife and I really enjoyed our time there with our children, and other than the winters. Those were pretty harsh, but our oldest daughter, Samantha, would come home from Auburn University in the summers, and she had her first couple of internships there, so we had a lot of good memories there. 3 of our children graduated from Mount Westonka High School, so the Minnesota Vikings were a great organization, from ownership to personnel to the coaching staff, players, front office, and there's some really good people up there, so I enjoyed my time up there, and going back up there is going to be fun. Any questions?
Is this new place as loud as the Metrodome?
It's louder.
It's louder?
I think it was louder. I mean, the Metrodome was extremely loud. I don't know what the attendance is, and maybe it's more people. I don't know if it's less, but I just think the way it's structured, it's a beautiful building. The Wilf family did a great job, and the state of Minnesota did a great job of building that place, and it's very, very first-class building. It's going to be very loud on Sunday. I know that.
And Mike, with Kevin, when did you know the guy that used to be just the assistant to the head coach, then all of a sudden this kid might turn out to be a head coach of it?
I didn't give it a lot of thought early on. He was young, but you can see him develop, and I think we've answered this question before. He's a very fine football coach. He works very hard. He's extremely smart. I knew he had the makeup to be a head coach, and I don't think I really started to think about it until when I got the job here. I know he was up for the job before Freddie got it, and he and I were talking about going together because he knew my contract was up. So that was a situation where I was like, maybe you could be a head coach, and it's kind of how it started.
What makes him able to kind of convey his vision and then get guys to follow it?
Consistency. I don't think he changes. I mean, he will adapt to every situation, but he has a consistent message to our team. He hired guys that are going to promote that consistent message to our players. We're bringing guys in. Andrew Berry and his staff are bringing in guys that are going to that are not choir boys, obviously all of them, but they're good people that want to win and that are going to follow that consistent message. And that's what we want to develop here. We want to develop a winning attitude and win a lot of games.
So you expressed confidence in Chase McLaughlin going into the season. Where's that confidence level now?
Well, I mean, he responded extremely well. I think he doesn't bat an eye. He's a very mentally tough young man, and he's much stronger and a better kicker than he was when he came out of Illinois. So I think at the end of the day, his confidence will continue to grow, but he knows every kick's extremely important. He's got to have the same focus and intensity that he approached the other kicks with on Sunday.
What stands out to you about these Viking Special Teams?
They play hard. They have good specialists. They have good returners. They're well coached. They're going to play hard because they know they are 2 plays away from being 3-0. They really are. It's a very, very good football team, and we have a huge challenge ahead of us, and I know they're going to be ready to play.
Dimitri Felton in the return game, we've talked to you this year and last about trying to get something out of that return game.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think you may have really found something with him that he can be that guy?
Yeah, it's funny. Other than the penalties where we left some yards on the field, I think there was some other plays where he knows, and I meet with him and we talk and we watch tape together. We talk about situational football all the time. He didn't return punts in college, so all this is very new to him. And I think with every game, with every experience he has, with every return, he's going to continue to get better. So I'm really excited for what he's contributed thus far. And the number one thing we tell him is ball security. That's all I preach about. The rest is a bonus. I mean, you get 5 yards, 10 yards, 20 yards, 30 yards on a return. That's all a bonus. The ball security is the thing that we preach all the time.
Mike, along those lines, he seems like a natural punt returner. He's really got an ability to make that first guy miss. Are you kind of surprised that he hadn't done that previously?
No, because at a lot of colleges, these guys are their primary offensive weapons or sometimes defensive weapons if it's DB. So yeah, he did return kickoffs, which he did well but he's got that skill set, which when we drafted him, we were excited about that, and we knew that was going to be a plan for him going forward to become our punt returner.
Mike, a lot of block in the back penalties, not just just league-wide. It just seems
it's hard.
It feels like every time there's a punt, you're just waiting for the flag to come out.
Yeah.
Why is that? Is it angles? Is it speed, focus, body control? Just what leads to
A lot of it is discipline, and I would like to think our guys are more disciplined. The one call was certainly a good call. The other one was, was close. But what we preach all the time is don't give the official an excuse to throw a flag. And on the second one, it was the first one actually on Elijah. His hands were here, and the guy fell forward. He didn't touch him, but it looked like he did. And because of his body position, it looked like a flag. So it's very hard. I mean, you got guys like me getting on them about executing their blocks, and they know that they want to stay on this unit, they want to stay on the team, they want to do their job at a high level. And so sometimes a little bit out of control. The guy does something at the end of the play, the guy covering that does something at the end of the play that all of a sudden, now I'm in a bad spot. What do? Do I pull off? And that's what we preach. Pull off and go find work. Hopefully the return will make that guy miss. But that's very difficult to do at full speed.
Mike, Kevin went out of his way on Monday to praise Greedy for his special teams.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Greedy getting the starting corner this week. What did you see from him on?
Greedy did a nice job on kickoff for us. He's in the right spots. He did an extremely good job on punt return as a hold-up corner. In fact, all four Vice guys, it was Greedy, A.J. Green, Troy Hill, and Grant Delpit all got game balls for the way they played on punt return. They did an exceptional job. That's extremely hard to do, especially single press. And I think Greedy graded out, we have 7 punt returns, 6 out of 7. I think Troy was 7 out of 7. Grant and AJ were like 6 or 7 out of 7, something like that. But they played at a high level and gave us an opportunity. I mean, we had over 100 punt return yards. That's hard to do, and they were a big part of that.
We talked to we talked to Tag McKinley earlier, and he was talking about the organization supporting him and being there for him. That doesn't always happen in the NFL. I mean, do you sense that from the top down?
Oh, 100%. I mean, that's how. I mean, I've done that my entire career. I mean, these young men, and we've said it before, and it's kind of cliche. They really all they care about is how much you care about them, and at the end of the day, they're going to play harder for you if you care about them as people. And I don't do it just for they play hard. I care about as people. I got in this business because I love the game and I love to affect young people in a positive manner, and I mean that sincerely. And I think Tack's one of those guys that needed that from an organization, and I'm sure he's very, very happy he's here because from the top down, we do care about our players as people first.
Hey, Mike, going back to Greedy for a second, he missed all last year with that injury, and the Browns obviously draft Craig Newsome, and Greedy gets hurt while competing with him.
Right.
It takes a backup role to be in the season. So, given all that, what does it say about Greedy, the kind of guy he is that he's playing special teams the way he is for you guys, and embracing what he's being assigned to do?
He came into the year, and I was pleasantly surprised. I know it's hard after an entire year because we didn't see him much. We saw him every now and then, tease him, joke with him, whatever. He was a good kid. But he came into the year with a positive attitude. He knew we drafted a young man that could beat him out, competed against him, got hurt, like you said. And then once he became healthy again, he looked at me and said, "Coach, whatever you need me to do, I will do." And because he's so athletic, because he is, a second-round draft pick, and he's a great athlete, he has put himself in a position to help us win on special teams and now this week on defense.
Mike, I don't know if the stats back it up or not, but it seems like the 50-yard field goal is fairly commonplace anymore. I mean, Tucker makes a 66-yarder, Chase goes for 57. These guys just stronger, or is it better technique now than there used to be, or is it coaches?
Probably a combination of all of it. I mean, you're not going to try a 57-yard if you don't think he's going to make it. And I'll be honest with you, if we was going to the dog pound in, I don't know if we would have kicked that one. But we had a little bit of wind behind us. Chase had made a 61-yarder in pregame. Coach and I had talked about that, and that's what we talk about every week before the game. Hey, what's our distance going this way? What's our distance going that way? And if you could, give or take a couple yards on some of the longer ones. You never go into a game thinking, hey, we're going to kick a 57-yarder today. But the opportunity presented itself. The wind they died down in the second half, but they were still a little bit of tailwind kicking in that direction. And he didn't hit the perfect ball. I'm sure he told you guys that on Monday, but he stroked it and it went through. And that's, like I said, he's a mentally tough kid. He didn't even bat an eye. Let's go. A lot of kickers wouldn't want to kick that kick, not in our stadium, and he did.
How much does range increase indoors?
Well, the wind, not having the wind behind you will obviously decrease it, but if they have those big old windows open, they got a little bit of airflow in there. It won't be windy, but they'll have some airflow in there. It'll help with the distance.
3 or 4 yards?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not an analytic guy. I'm not that smart. That's why I coach special teams.
Was 57 about his limit going that way?
Well, I think in that situation probably, but at the end of the half we may have tried one longer because he smoked a 61-yarder in pregame and he hit a really good ball.
What did you think about Tucker's game winner?
I don't like Baltimore, so no, that was a great kick. He actually did a crow hop. You guys probably saw that. I mean, what an amazing kick. He's an amazing player. I mean, he's the best in our business and maybe the best of all time. So he's it did not surprise me when someone told me after the game that he had made a 66-yard field goal. Didn't surprise me one bit. Now I would have rushed him a little bit differently. We may have knocked one down, but because it took a long time. With his crow hop, it was a 1-4-2 get off. I think I timed it, and I hope that we would put more pressure on that kick. But it was a great job by him, this whole team.
What's a normal get off?
We won it between 127 and 132, 1.27 and 1.32 seconds.
Is there I know you look at other plays around the league. Is there a teaching point off that Jaguars play, that guy that returned the kick?
Oh, we have that in. Most teams have that in. Yeah, it's a return.
But I mean, as far as covering it.
Well, you don't want to cover it with offensive lineman typically. We had to cover the one against the Jets. Joel Batoni made a nice play, and because we didn't hit the ball well, that's when Jamie kicked that field goal last year. I don't know if Jamal Agnew's back there, I'm not kicking a 68-yarder before. I've worked with head coach before. It's been a 58, 60-yard field goal at the end of the half. No, we're just going to take a knee or run a Hail Mary or something like that on offense, and we're not going to kick it because of that situation. You're covering with offensive linemen, and that's not fair to those guys. I mean, Jamal Agnew's the best in the business. I think he's outstanding.